How many players in history can say they won 5 Champions Leagues, wore the jersey of the biggest club in the world for 16 years, and retired as the most decorated player in the history of Real Madrid? Very few. Very, very few. And one of them is Brazilian, Marcelo Vieira. Born in Rio de Janeiro, Marcelo was not only a cornerstone of one of the most glorious eras in Real Madrid's history, but also a privileged witness to the most extraordinary rivalry football has ever known: Cristiano Ronaldo versus Lionel Messi. He didn't watch it from the outside. He lived it from the inside, sharing the locker room with one and facing the other on the pitch. Marcelo arrived at Real Madrid in 2007, just 18 years old, with a shy smile and a personality that quickly adapted to elite competition. Over 546 matches for Los Blancos, he scored 38 goals, delivered 103 assists, and became a symbol of intensity, technique, and charisma. He won 25 titles and wore the captain's armband when he lifted Real Madrid's 14th Champions League trophy in Paris. After a brief stint at Olympiacos and a triumphant return to Fluminense, where he won the 2023 Copa Libertadores, Marcelo officially retired in February 2025 at the age of 36. Retirement, however, didn't silence him. In a recent appearance on the popular Brazilian podcast TH7 Cortez, Marcelo spoke openly about what it was really like to coexist daily with Cristiano Ronaldo during his prime, and to live across the field from Lionel Messi during the most intense football era ever. When asked what it was like to train with Cristiano Ronaldo, Marcelo doesn't hesitate. "It was inexplicable," he says. Training next to Cristiano meant sharing space with someone obsessed, not in a negative way, but in the purest competitive sense. Sometimes Messi scored 2 goals and Cristiano scored 3. Then Messi scored 3 and Cristiano scored 4. Then Cristiano scored 4 and Messi scored 5. And honestly, it felt normal, Marcelo recalls, laughing. That was our reality. But what impressed him most wasn't just the volume of goals, it was the consistency. When Cristiano arrived in La Liga, the all-time top scorer in a season was Raul with 24 goals. And then this guy scores 60. That doesn't exist. For Marcelo, Cristiano wasn't just a scorer. He was a phenomenon built on discipline and obsession. Every single year, Cristiano broke a record. Every year he surpassed himself, he says. He had a hunger to score goals that very few players in history have. And it wasn't about showboating. It was about deciding matches. Living with Cristiano changed the entire locker room. Marcelo explains that Ronaldo trained every single day as if it were a Champions League final. That mentality spread to everyone. He raised the standard without saying a word. If he was training at 100%, you couldn't train at 90%. Marcelo emphasizes how professional and methodical Cristiano was. His routines, his focus, his physical preparation. He didn't leave anything to chance. Everything was calculated. That's why he stayed at the top for so long. And yet, even with Cristiano on his own team, Marcelo knew that on the other side of the rivalry stood another force of nature. What was it like to defend Lionel Messi? Marcelo pauses, then laughs. God forbid. Facing Messi, according to Marcelo, was never normal. He stayed quiet the entire match. You'd try to tackle him, and that's when you made him angry. Then he'd start dribbling. Unlike many superstars, Messi didn't rely on flashy tricks. No elastics, no show. He just brushed the ball, simple dribble, and he always got past you. Marcelo believes Messi's true power was mental. He thinks faster than everyone else. When you go in for the tackle, he's already gone. Even when Marcelo managed to touch him, it felt pointless. It was like lighting a match next to gasoline. Boom, explosion. What unsettled him most was Messi's silence. He never talked, never complained. He just played and destroyed. Despite that, Marcelo admits he still tried to provoke him. It was a Clásico. You had to hit him. Sometimes I punched him and he didn't even look at me. Other times he smiled. That's when I thought, okay. I woke up the demon. The rivalry between Messi and Cristiano, Marcelo explains, was something everyone inside football understood in real time. We knew it was abnormal. That era wasn't just a rivalry, it was something cosmic. Inside the Real Madrid locker room, Messi's numbers were followed almost obsessively. Messi scored 90 goals in 1 year. Nobody does that. Not even playing pickup games on the weekend, Marcelo says. And Cristiano responded the next year with 60. It was one pushing the other constantly. Despite media narratives, Marcelo insists there was mutual respect between them. They were on another level. It wasn't about the Ballon d'Or, it was about competitiveness, about reinventing yourself every season. What stood out most was their hunger. They won everything, and still wanted more. That mentality shaped an entire generation of European football. Marcelo makes it clear that neutrality was impossible. Players, fans, media, everyone took sides. Even at Real Madrid, Messi's presence was felt. You had Cristiano on your team, but you knew Messi was on the other side, and he wanted history too. So, Messi or Cristiano? After years of avoiding the question, Marcelo finally addresses it. They're both on another level, he says, but marking Messi was impossible. Still, when he speaks about Cristiano, his tone is different, deeper, personal. Cristiano is a machine, precision, discipline, obsession. He trained like every day was a final. He wanted to score goals more than breathe. Messi, on the other hand, inspires something closer to awe. He doesn't dribble to humiliate. He dribbles to solve problems. He's objective. He's a genius. For Marcelo, the difference lies in nature. Cristiano built his greatness through relentless work. Messi seems born with it. That's why he's harder to read. In the end, Marcelo doesn't explicitly choose, but his experience speaks for him. He shared the locker room with Cristiano Ronaldo at his most demanding, and he faced Lionel Messi at his most untouchable. Now retired, with 25 titles and stories that sound like myths, Marcelo speaks with the calm of someone who has nothing left to prove. I played against a silent genius, he says, and I lived with a man obsessed with perfection. Both shaped my career. That sentence alone says everything. Marcelo wasn't a spectator. He was part of history.